Good morning. I think the audio is finally working. Yeah, I have it on my phone so I can check it and I can hear myself. Awesome. All right. Let's do round 2 of trying to get this long forgotten hippogriff. Unfortunately, yesterday I streamed and for whatever reason the audio didn't work the whole time. So it was cool. For 2 hours and no one can hear a word I said. So I apologize, guys. I think I have it down now. So, kind of what I tried to explain yesterday. You start in Orgrimmar. We're going to go to Azuna. Now, hopefully we'll get lucky again and the crystals will be there. I don't know what happened yesterday. I don't know if I got phased out because there was an invasion. And I read that you could get phased in an invasion and it does something completely different. So I could have lost my crystals because of that. Or someone else could have gotten all the crystals while I was taking the dogs out. Good morning. Miki wants to say hi. Alright. Yes, I am early. I did say I would start at 7, but because I had, video trouble on my first stream and then audio trouble on my second, I figured I should get on early just to make sure I'm doing this right and not messing it up consistently so that, people get irritated and be like, all right, come on. I don't want to show that I'm like um, that idiotic when it comes to technology. All right, so let's go to Azuna. Now, I do have handy notes downloaded, but I feel like it doesn't have every possible location of the crystals. So I did enable my TomTom again, and I do have waypoints. So I figured I'm going to go by the waypoints this time. Not saying handy notes didn't let me down. We did get to 4. It was very bittersweet when I got to that 4. I was looking at it and I was like, I just need that last crystal. And I got to join the team of we were almost there and just could not get it in the end. We were so close, guys. We were so close. Alright. So let's hope that we can get some crystals today. I'm going to put in my first waypoint. Now I know you can download them and paste them and they'll be on the map. But I won't lie, I got really tired yesterday of just opening the map, looking at, one of the waypoints that pop up, closing the map, and then keep going, sort of thing. And I know you don't really need to, because the crystal is pretty in your face. You can see if it's there or not. But I didn't want to mess around when I was trying to find that last crystal, and I think I got some major eye fatigue because I was like straining. I was like, oh my god, is it hiding like a little crevasse here? So today I'm just not gonna take a chance. I'm gonna do it the dummy way, and I'm gonna have this cute little arrow point me in the direction I need. And yeah, that's just what we're gonna do. So yesterday, one of my crystals was over here. I am hoping that they are here. There's no assaults going on, no invasions, nothing. I am going to be a lot more careful with not clicking anything to make sure I don't get phased in case I did mess myself up with that. I did feel kind of special because when I did do this, I did check like every cave I possibly could. And when I went through every single waypoint, because there are a couple of sites that have like a bunch of people that came together and they went around the whole island and came up with these different waypoints. Now I will link this of what I'm using. Let me do that now before I forget. I'm gonna put it in the chat. There we go. That is what I'm using right now for the points. So if anybody wants to do this later and hopefully get the mount for themselves because they've been looking and going, oh yeah, I should try that one day. There you go. This is what I personally used. I have TomTom on, and then you just put in the points. Now, like I said, you can put them in and paste it, and then they'll pop up kind of like what I have with handy notes with these tiny little dudes right there. Or you can do it, I guess, the older fashioned way, like I am, and just do it one by one. Okay, so I guess there's sometimes they'll hide here, and other times they'll be here. Not gonna lose heart just yet that the crystals aren't up. That is another reason why I came on a bit earlier, just in case, you know, I felt like maybe I was a little too late yesterday and that someone was already hunting the crystals and I could have lost out that way. One guide I was watching, I think, described it pretty well, where it's like you're playing Amazing Race. It's whoever, you know, finds these first. Okay. So there's times it will just hang out right here. And I'm going to get rid of all the points now because they tend to get a little hairy after a while. I am excited. I did record doing some Mythic Zeros yesterday. I healed those. And we also did Torghast. And I need to look up some assistance with Torghast because I swear I don't know what we're doing wrong. There was two of us that did do. I guess we didn't have a choice, but we had one pair of dupe anima powers. And I know they say to try to not do that. And I guess also try not to take any epics in order to get extra points. I think I did pick one epic. But we got 100% on everything else. So I think that's really stupid. If you get penalized basically for picking a good anima power. But no, we got 100% on every floor. And the second time we ran through, I think it was upper reaches, we didn't die. So it's not like we got penalized for dying. The other one, whew, we died a lot. But that's okay. Mistakes were made. Fun was... There was fun. I got a little nervous that we were going to hit our limit where we would be kicked out. And that only happened once, and I think we're doing Twisted Corridor. And I think we just were not paying attention because we're usually not that bad. It would be like right here. But this time it was really bad. We just kept dying. I think maybe it was a cross between we didn't get good enough powers. Plus the fact we kind of kept getting like chain linked or something. It was just like bad news bears all around. And we died enough where the big Hulk comes out and throws you out of the tour guest. And I never saw that before. So, like, when he popped up, I was like, oh my god, what is that? And my friend was like, oh, we died too many times, so we were trying to kill the boss before it got to us. But it eventually gets you. You can only delay the inevitable. So this time we did Torghast this week, and the first one we died a lot. So I thought we were gonna get kicked. But we got a little lucky. It did not. It left us alone a little bit. I'm actually gonna check here because they said there sometimes there's a crystal hang out by this tree. And as you can see, we're up here. We're gonna head back to the cliffs. Now, yeah, this list is gonna make you kind of zigzag back and forth, and there are areas that you're like, I was just already there, but again, I don't want to mess around this time. I'm hoping the crystals reset and they are hanging out, and we just haven't found them yet. I did kind of get a little lucky yesterday, that's why I'm kind of kicking myself a bit. You know, the first three were on the edge line. So we got spoiled a little bit because we're like, hey, we already know we're on the right trail. Whereas right now, all the crystals could be hiding in the middle, and we have not gotten to the middle yet. That's okay, we're going to keep trucking until hopefully we do find it. Plus the fact that everybody is biting at the bit to get their hands on the Fallen Charger. I was able to get into 4 groups. He only popped twice in the 4 groups. RNG gods have hated me this expansion. Absolutely hated me. So I think this is, yeah, because we already checked here, but that's okay. When it comes to armor, just anything. Honestly, anything. No. RNG gods are like, yeah, you're not going to get that for a while. And you're just going to be a loser. So it's kind of refreshing to kind of just go off on my own and be able to farm mounts. Because I'm like, at least I have a better chance of getting this. No crystal there. Okay. The cool thing is the site that I put in as well has little descriptions as well as a lot of snapshots. So you can kind of tell if you're on the right track, especially if you haven't seen a crystal yet. Like, unfortunately for us. Again, we got to see 4 yesterday, so I know what I'm looking at, but you'll know. You'll know if there's a crystal there or not. Thank goodness they made it a decent size and not something where you're kind of like, is that it? Let's see. And I'll show you. Hopefully. Okay. So this is what the crystal will look like, and this is what a lot of the snapshots will look like. And there's a bunch of them on the site. So yeah, we've been having issues with Torghast. And I need to look at what are we missing. We're getting 100% on each floor, and then, I think we've gotten all the enhancement bonuses. And we're still only getting 3 out of 5. So I'm a bit perturbed about it. I might pester one of my guild members because they got a flaw list the other day. And I need to ask them, what did you do? Okay. Not here. Stupid egg. I want to know their secrets of how they're getting a flawless. And I hate it too when people get so pompous about it. They're like, oh, it's just easy. Like, listen, it's not. If it was easy, everyone would be getting it and people wouldn't be asking for assistance here, okay? That's like the people who go mount hunting who didn't really mean to go mount hunting and they just like get one of the super extreme rare mounts that everyone's been trying to get for years and they get it on their first try and everyone's just like, I hate your guts. My one friend, that's how he got his time lost proto drake. He said like his nephew was on his account and was just kind of messing around and saw it flying and was like, hey, what's this? And got it. And that's how he got a beautiful time lost proto drake. And that was back when the timer was asinine. I know they changed it to, I think, 6 hours now to make it a little more manageable for people. Which it seemed like it was like half and half of people being really happy about it and people being really pissed off. Those being pissed off because, they spent the time grinding to get this mount. So they thought it was incredibly unfair that they brought the timer down to make it nicer for people. For me, I'm like, it is what it is. If you got the mount, you got the mount. I am not going to be prejudiced against people who only had to wait 6 hours instead of 48 or something like that. I understand the frustration to a point. Let's see. On the hillside, it could be. Because when I got my Crimson Water Strider, I worked so hard on him because I wanted the water walking. Oh, he took me forever to get, and it was because of these stupid net haggle coins you have to do. I'd say for me it was like 1 in 35 catches I would get a stupid coin. Well, I would get the fish you need to exchange for the coin. And it just took forever. And I'll show you my favorite watering hole. I would do these 3 pools in Draenor. That's where I went. Where I had the best luck getting the lunkers, I think it was, that you need. Other people may have their favorite spot. That was like one of the few spots that actually dropped lunkers for me. Because I think I spent, I swear, about 2 hours in a couple different areas and nothing fell. Whereas when I went to Shadow Moon Valley, like, it seemed pretty much a guarantee I was always going to get at least one about every 30 casts or so. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go here every time. And I'm just going to sit my happy little ass here. I'm not going to do anything else. And all I'm going to do is fish and, like, I think I watched movies and stuff. Until I finally got it. And then I put a max amount of time. Because I'm not one to, like, sit here for 10 hours. And more power to the people that can do that. Where they just spend the entire day and that's all you do. I need to, like, get up, I need to move, I need to eat, I need to get out of the house. It's not healthy at all. So I think I limited myself to about 2 hours a day. So you could say that's on me that it took me as long as it did. But it was incredibly amazing to finally get that last stupid coin so I can buy the mount. And of course you have to have the rep. You have to do the whole quest line to even get him to your garrison and do the rep. And then, you're able to go fishing for the special lunkers to get it. So I finally got water walking. I was like, yes, I have made it. Things are excellent. But the issue was not soon after, they came out with these where you could just get water walking on any mount you wanted. And I just sat there and I was like, oh my god. I just spent all this time on this water walking mount. And you honestly didn't need to anymore because anyone can walk on water now. But I am a lover of mounts, especially rare mounts. So it was to me worth it because I got the mount. Not many people are going to take the amount of time to do that whole quest chain, let alone the fishing involved to get these stupid lunkers to get these coins. So it just comes down to priority of your time, what you think is worth it. You have people that are on kill like 6,022, 222 of trying to get midnight. And some people are like, no, I am not going to do that every week and get enough alts to hop on to try to even get this stupid thing. Whereas other people are like, no, I am going to get this one day. And we always joke like 15 years from now we're going to get some of these mounts like Invincible. And I feel bad. My one friend has been trying to get Invincible since it came out. and has not dropped for them. Now, obviously, they're not on every week trying to get it. They take time off from it, but it is kind of sad to see people like, it's my first time and I got it. And then you have people like, it's been 10 years and still on the, on the hunt for this stupid mount. And we'll see about raiding this week because we don't start our raid until Wednesday. We're going to be doing Wednesday and Thursday. But the issue is we have Tropical Storm, who became a hurricane, who I think is now back down to a tropical storm. Elsa is on its way here. And it's definitely looking like it's gonna be walking through Florida. The models were kind of pushing it a bit, but they're like, nah, it's really looking like it. So, may lose power. I have warned already some of my guild members that have already been on. I'll do it again, like, probably for the first poll, like, as we're getting together, and be like, alright, guys, don't wait for me. Because they are really nice. It's more casual than other guilds. To the point where, you know, they still want to progress, they still want to do the best they can, but they aren't going to, like, ostracize you for not being able to make it because you have a life, or if something goes wrong, you're not going to get kicked from the guild. Like, I've heard horror stories from other people. I don't think I'll ever join a competitive guild because no, that's a little too much pressure and a little too much extra. I'm not saying it's bad because I know some people are very competitive, especially those that want to do the world first or try to get world first. But that is not me. Oh, we found our first crystal. Yes! Hello! Oh, you're beautiful. Alright. We're not gonna mess around. I am not gonna kill other things. I'm not gonna help other people. Shame on me, because that is probably part of my issue yesterday, was I did, I think, mess around a little too much. I haven't seen anybody else flying around yet, which is another reason why I did start a little bit earlier, in hopes that people are sleeping in, people are still in the fallen charger queue, trying to get that mount. Good luck. It's crazy. I was seeing, I've been in, of course it is nice. They've been doing full groups of 39 that I've seen the whole time. The first group I was in, 3 chances dropped. The second one I was in, I only saw it drop for 1 person. So out of a full group, 39 and such, 1. I was like, ooh. And then one of my guild members said they were in a group and they saw it drop for 10 people. So it's crazy about RNG of what can happen. And then there was a couple that said that it didn't drop at all, which, you know, if you have a respawn timer or something that's between 1 to 14 hours, and yes, there could be a crystal that will be here, so make sure you check out this boat dude. And he is chilling out by this cave by Illidari Stand. But you want to check inside. That you could wait 14 hours. It's like your first group you ever got. And RNG's like, yep, no, none for any, y'all. Try again later. You're like, oh my god. Now I know people are doing a lot of server hopping. Um, there was a couple of people that said that they have tried like 30 times or something already, which I think is crazy. Crazy lucky too. I mean, I feel lucky. The second group I got in, it literally popped and they're like, "Hey, Charger is up." And so for whatever reason they let me join the group. Got nothing out of it. But, at least I can say I tried. So technically, if you want to go for it, I've been in 4 groups. I saw him pop twice, so I got 2 tries. So I'm technically on try number 3 the next time I want to try and get in another group. I was really tired yesterday because I'm so close to getting exalted with Venari. I'm like right there. I know it says cordial, but I was looking up like I'm so close to the very last one. I want it. I think it was because they have a mount and I want the mount. Give me the mount. And that's on me that's taking this long because I did avoid the maw for like ever. It's next to the tree. Now, let's see. Let me come over here. There would be one like right there, but he is not in this spot. Okay. Next. Now, I did read they will stay there. Good morning. Babu likes to help out when I'm mount hunting. Which is good because if you see that there, you're like, okay, cool. Someone has not taken all the crystals yet. There's also a call out that will happen as well when someone has touched the last crystal and the hippogryph comes out. That is another indicator to let you know, hey, time to stop looking. All the crystals are gone because they will disappear when somebody touches the last crystal. Now, every guide that I've looked at says you should do this on your own, even though it could, is technically easier to do with a group because you can send everybody out to these different areas and, whoever has been designated as the person to be able to get them out first. Not today, sir. You're gonna come behind me. Thank you. Sometimes I let him be on my side, but I am not messing around today. And he likes to try to steal my pen, and I don't appreciate it. I need my pen. There's stuff I want to write down sometimes. And my cat is a klepto. He will literally fight me tooth and nail to try to steal my pen. I don't know what, who he thinks he is. I'm going to win. I am lucky. He is not a clawer. I've never been clawed by him. My other cat, I've never been like attacked or angrily clawed by any of my cats. Like I said, Babu does not do that. But I don't give him a reason to either. But my other cat, she likes to grab my hand and pull it in to give love bites. So I guess you can kind of count that as being clawed, but not really because she doesn't like swipe at me or, you know. The only time she's ever drawn blood was when I had to give her a bath, and I feel so bad for anyone who ever has to bathe a cat. We didn't have a choice. There's been a couple instances like you saw Babu is he's a silver pointed Siamese. and he decided that he was gonna lay in dog pee. And that was back when, and I'm just gonna go in the cave because they said it could be in the cave. Yes, I'm going against the waypoints, but I did this yesterday, so I'm like, I'm already here. I'm gonna check this stupid cave. So it's technically not wasting time. Okay. So yeah, we used to live in an apartment, and the dogs were on their little pee area on the balcony that we set up. And I guess we just didn't close the door quick enough. And we let the dogs in, and my beautiful, beautiful cat, for whatever reason, decided to jump out and lay in it. So now I had a yellow cat. Obviously, I am going to take care of my cat, and I'm not going to let him just be soaked up in pee. So we had to bathe him. And it's one of the worst experiences I think I ever had to do. Because he screams like you're murdering him. We were so afraid our neighbors were going to call the cops on us for animal abuse. But again, we're lucky he doesn't like try to attack you. He just sits there and he screams, which I've never heard a cat scream before, and I absolutely hate it. It breaks my heart, but it was his fault. So I don't know what he expected me to do in this situation. And then it's hysterical because he acts like he's made of cement, like we put cement on his back when he's wet because he just falls over. So until he starts to get like semi-dry, he just kind of like lays there and pretends he's dying. He's very melodramatic about certain things. We have been lucky. He's been better at like keeping out of trouble because he probably got a bit traumatized about it. Migi is not as much of a drama queen as Babu is. It was kind of hysterical when we first got her, and I forget why. She did something, and we had to clean her. We did have to give her a bath, and she cried for help. Babu came running into the bathroom to kind of like check things out, and was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Saw what we were doing, and he backed out so slowly. I couldn't stop laughing. He was just like, "Nope, carry on. I I am not taking part in this situation whatsoever." He knew better. But what's crazy is, so you're supposed to be able to kind of neutralize an animal. I think, yes! Next crystal! So you should be able to neutralize an animal by grabbing them by the scruff of their neck. And as much as it looks like it's painful, it's not. Because that's, what the mothers do to kind of either keep them in line or move them around or whatever it is. So you're not hurting them. And it works really well on Babu. It kind of puts him in a freeze mode. They did say one could be behind this giant dude, but no. Okay. I guess that's going to be our only crystal around in these pots. This next one is saying this will be in the cave next to gold. Possibly. So we tried it on Migi. Because we're like, okay, this is the first time we have to give her a bath. Let's not mess this up. And we'll hold her by the scruff of her neck. And I, being the idiot that I am, was not wearing a shirt. I think I was just being stupid. I was like, I don't want to get my shirt wet or something. Don't ever do that when you're bathing a cat. Don't make a mistake like I. Because you see where this is going. Um, we grabbed her by the scruff of her neck. And yes, I was by myself. I did not have assistance just yet. Because I was like, no, I got this. We'll be okay. She literally turned around and grabbed me right here. Like just sunk all her claws there. To which I totally let out a piercing wail. Because I don't know if you've ever had a cat sink their claws into, let alone, like your skin up in here. It's not something you want ever. Oh yeah, I think maybe that was the reason too, I was like, if something goes wrong, I don't want her to mess up my shirt or something. Instead of going, hey, let me just put on a stupid shirt so if something goes wrong, who cares? So yeah, I paid for it. I had some really good marks on me for quite some time. So, shame on me. She did get clean though. I mean, I'm still gonna win this fight. And then since then, she likes to purr when we give her a bath. So it's just interesting. We did get her as a kitten. Um, Babu, it's crazy. We have like really weird luck in a sense with all our pets. Um, when my husband and I first got married, he asked me if I wanted a dog, and I was like, I want a pug. Like, I love Milo and Otis as a kid. Love pugs. It was very depressing to hear, and I think it was confirmed. I can't remember when I was doing research on this, but I think it was originally a Japanese movie of a cat and his pug, and a lot of pets died in the making of this movie. And then it got dubbed to English. My mom had me watch it as a kid, and I absolutely loved it. And that's why I love pugs, because I thought they were just the cutest things in the world. Don't be so judgy for those who, are watching this and going, no, pugs are like the ugliest breed I've ever seen, and any flat-nosed faced dogs are particularly ugly. I said, get out of here. Okay. There's supposed to be a cave. Okay, I think this is the cave. Boom. Perfect. Okay. I will kill you. Okay. So I did feel really bad. Because I absolutely love the movie, and that's why I love pugs. So I told him, I was like, alright, if we're gonna get a pet, I want a pug. That's that. And he's like, okay. And I was like, for whatever reason, I was like, yeah, and I want a black pug. I think it was because a lot of people have fawn pugs. And I'm one of those people, and I can't help it. I've been like this since a kid. That if everyone has the same thing of something, I don't want it. It's too popular, and I don't particularly care for it. Now there are some outliers. I absolutely loved Backstreet Boys when I was younger, to my friends' group dismay, because they loved NSYNC better. And I'm not saying I didn't like NSYNC. People get very particular about this. And I was like, I enjoyed NSYNC. Um, I remember when they debuted, which is crazy to think about. And it was on like the Disney cruise ship, and they first came out, and I was like, what is this? So I was like, I like the music. And I remember when Backstreet Boys came out, and I'm not apologizing for liking their music more. So, no. But yeah, those are just a couple of outliers of, me liking something that got really, really popular. So I saw fawn pugs everywhere, and I was like, but I want a different color pug. And black pugs are amazingly cute. Excuse me. Yes, that is how I sneeze. Not apologizing for that either. It's just how it is. For some weird reason, when I was really young, at school, someone got made fun of for sneezing. And somehow it got in my brain that I need to be quiet when I sneeze. And I don't know what came of it and why I even thought about that, but I just remember it happening. We already checked behind the sleeping giant. That's what this is saying. From then on, my sneezes turned into that to try to be as quiet as possible. Alright, so those who are counting, we have found 2 crystals out of 5. I am incredibly excited. I'm hoping we can get this today. So yeah, my sneeze, I somehow changed it. Don't ask me how I did it. But it's pretty quiet, and I get made fun of because they said I sound like a mouse or like a tiny animal. But anyway. So I said, I want a black pug. Well, where we were stationed, there really was no hope of finding a pug, let alone a black pug, because we were like in the middle of the desert. And I was, a little sad about it because I was like, well, I don't want another animal. This is the only animal I want. 3 days later, my husband sent me a picture of him with a black pug. And I was so taken aback by it. And I was sitting there and I was like, is this a real picture? And he's like, of course it's a real picture. I was like, where did you find this pug? This black pug of all things. And the only thing that the shelter could tell us was that because we had an area on post where people could board their pets and where they found strays or people like gave up their dogs. This is where they could go. He said they locked up for the night. There was no pug. They came in the morning. There was a pug. So the only thing they could think of is that somebody threw the pug over the fence after they locked up and went home. Yes. Hello. Three crystals down. Which is horribly psychotic, I guess, in a way. We gotta go in the cave. But also amazing at the same time. 50-50. We'll go this way. Yeah, we're gonna keep going this way. Nope, went too far. So I don't remember where there's a cave. Lay Hollow. So yeah, this pug just was there. Better stay away from my crystals. So we asked about him, and they had to hold the pug I think technically for 7 days to see if the owner would come get them or, be like, hey, I lost my pug, sort of thing. Don't see a. We're gonna come back to Lay Hollow Crystal Cave. Let me write that down. I don't see anything. And actually, I think they let us take him when we hit the 4-day mark. Because my husband literally visited and like called them every day. Frank was our first baby as a married couple, so I think he was just as excited as I was to try to get this pug, let alone find one where we were. So the nurse was really nice and let us visit him like every day until they finally let us bring him home. And it's hysterical because my husband never had a dog before, technically. He said when, he and his mom let me know that when he was a kid, they did have a dog, I think for like a couple weeks or something. But they weren't helping their parents take care of the dog. So they, rehome the dog because they're like, hey, we told you you're supposed to be helping, you didn't help. So the the dog is going to a better home. Yeah, we already grabbed him. Get away. Stay away from my crystals. I don't trust anybody. Everyone is an enemy right now. Okay, nothing in here. So this was the first time my husband had to take care of any type of baby, let alone puppy. And I did warn him that puppies are a lot of work. Like a lot of work. It's not a joke. Don't just get a puppy just because they're cute and you want to make your kid happy. My parents were pretty strict with us. We've had dogs our whole lives, but we were in charge of taking care of them. Like my parents helped too, but part of the thing of being a family is we all help. And when I was little, I fed the dog. When I got older and I had more strength, um, with one of my parents watching me, usually my mom, because we would go on walks a lot. Um, I was allowed to walk the dog with supervision. And then obviously when I got older, I could do it on my own. But I'm talking about when I was a kid. And pick up dog poop, all that stuff. And my brothers had to help too. And it helps, I think it greatly helps teach responsibility and the importance of, honestly, in a sense, selfless service. Because you are taking care of an animal, you are helping them grow up to be a good cat, a good dog, a good gerbil, whatever you have. You want to train your pet and show them, you know, what is acceptable in the society that you have created for them. So we did commands and training and stuff like that. Well, this was my husband's first baby. And I did warn him. I was like, he will probably cry because he's a baby and that's what they do. Sorry for those that get offended, puppy, but to other people they say baby. I won't lie, I call everything a baby at times because when you're that little and you're beautiful and sweet. And so usually it'll be here or I've seen here before. Okay, so no crystal over here. And if you're offended by that, hey, you're offended by that, that's on you. I'm not changing how I say certain things. So, first night was absolutely horrible. um, as suspected, because, you know. And the crazy thing was, we thought our new pug member of the family was 1 years old, I think. And they got his age wrong. I believe they think he was 6 months old when we got him. And he did not know how to be a dog at all. Like, at all. It was crazy to see. He had, like, we think he might have been taken away from his mom too early before he could have any type of skills whatsoever. Let's see. It says it could be by the broken ship. Let's check that out. So first night was absolutely terrible. He cried. And we were in a pretty small apartment, so you could hear everything. Um, and we had just moved there too. So we didn't have furniture. We were sleeping on the floor. Now, I didn't know this. Maybe other people who have held pugs and have owned them forever may know this, or maybe we just had like a crazy outlier pug. But, you know, how I was always taught was the the, the new puppy would be not quarantined, but their area would be the kitchen. Well, the way our apartment was set up was the kitchen was way too open. No, get away from my crystals. I don't trust you. You're level 60s. That's also why I don't have war mode on right here. I don't want to have to deal with people fighting me. Now I understand that I guess it could be easier, some people said, but I'm not playing around. I'm just a boomy at the moment. Just trying to get him out. But anyway, we couldn't really ward off the kitchen because it went open into the dining room, and then there was another section that opened up into the living room. But then there was like an extra place where the washer dryer was, so it was right off the kitchen. But it was open, and we actually moved the fridge in there to give us more room in the kitchen itself, which was amazing. It opened up a lot of space. So we put up a dog fence, and then kept the door open, and that was going to be like his area, his little poop area, everything, his little sleep area. Don't drag me. It is hysterical. My husband made this rule that no pets were going to be sleeping with us. And that has changed off and on throughout the years. And it's come to the point where he is allergic, we found out, to pets, but he took medication to help him out, and they just aren't allowed to sleep with us anymore. We do like put a blanket down and they can chill out with us at times, but no more sleeping with us. And we do like to have some room when we're sleeping because they are bed hogs. High five to people that can't sleep without their pets and all that. No judgment, but I'm gonna do what's best for my husband, and his allergies can get pretty nasty. So, and it's okay because we have cat and dog beds all over the house, so Tempur-Pedics too. They are taken care of. But anyway, we put up the fence and we put him inside. And we're like, okay, we're good. We're gonna be okay. And I think they let us take him home. It was like already nighttime. We're already tired. And he starts crying. You know, like that puppy wailing. And my husband just wants to shoot himself because, you know, we're both active duty at the time. And we have to get up at like 5 in the morning for PT. And we're already not sleeping very well. It was so bad. I felt really bad for him because he was getting so mad about it. And I was sitting there and I'm like, but he's a puppy. This is what they're going to do. They're going to cry. And that's just kind of life right now. And to make it worse, you know, just to get some sleep, we're like, okay, we're gonna. Oh wait, before that happened. Okay, so we put up the fence. He's crying. He jumped the fence. I didn't know that pugs can jump that high. Because, you know, he's a pretty tiny dog at the time. And I thought it was a pretty decent sized fence that, you know, cuts him off sort of thing. And he jumped it. So he kind of looked at me flabbergasted. I was like, I didn't know they could do that. So we raised the fence a little bit higher. And we're like, okay, we got this. He ain't going anywhere. He jumped it again. And I'm standing there watching him as he did it. And I was like, oh my God, we have like a powerful pug. So we raised it higher. And, you know, it was almost like a challenge. And he was like, don't worry, I got this. And jumped it for the third time. At this time, I think it was probably like 1 or 2 in the morning. My husband is just like done with life. And we can't raise the the doggy gate any higher or else he can just crawl under it now. That is how high he was able to jump this stupid gate. So we did the only thing that like he could think of, and he closed the door. Well, no, I take it back. I'm sorry. I am going too far ahead of myself. So we just moved, so we had all these boxes. So we're like, okay, maybe if we put the boxes in front of the gate, it'll muffle the sound of him crying just to get sleep because we have to get up at 5 in the morning and go do this and go to work and stuff. So we do that. And we're laying back on the floor. Oh, next crystal. I see one. Yes. Yes. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Alright, onward. And we hear his little pitter-patter of feet. But they start to get really light, like they're walking away. And it's the weirdest thing because I was, you know, we kind of like stared at each other that it would sound so distant like and like soft. And we looked at each other. I was like, is he backing up? And as I said, is he backing up? Our little dude bum rushed the boxes. Bum rushed it because you heard it. It was like a clop, clop, clop. And then boom, the boxes all fell down. And he came over and was all happy and wanted to be with us. Now, pet lovers out there, I know they're probably going to just like yell at me for just not letting this pug be with us. Because they're like, that's just what he wanted. He wanted to be with a pack. He's lonely. I'm like, I understand, guys. We both understand very much. But you don't have to get up at 5 in the morning to go do like a 10-mile run or a 10-mile ruck march, okay? Like, we get tired, we have to have some sleep. And we did not want to wake up and pee and poop. Because that happens with puppies. I'm not going to apologize. So I think what we ended up doing, we had to close the door. And we're like, we need to get a crate. A lot of people, talked about, by the time we got him, because we didn't even think we were going to get him. Because there was a chance that, like, some owner was going to come forward and have some sort of sob story, and we were trying not to get our hopes too far up. So we didn't get a crate yet. And plus, again, the way I grew up, I think we had a couple of our dogs crate trained just for their safety when we had like people over at the house or something like that. But I don't particularly remember too much of them going in their crate. And I think one of my dogs was pretty kind of like independent before my parents started doing that. Let me get rid of the waypoints. So we didn't have a crate yet. We thought the gate was gonna work just fine. And it didn't. It like backfired so horribly on us. And maybe that's our comeuppance for not letting him snuggle with us. I don't know. I won't lie. I just want to go in here. Just check. Okay. So we closed the door completely just so that we could get some sleep because now I think it was like 3 in the morning. And we're like, we have to get up at 5 because we have to be in formation. I'm going to like shoot the dog sort of thing. So right after work the next day, we got a crate. And we began to crate train him. And that went horrible. Like, Frank was like the most challenging, like, first puppy I think we've ever had. I think I went through 3 dogs when I was a kid. And, did not have the issues that we had with this puppy, I swear. I don't know, was just gearing us up for life, or I don't know what it was. But he thoroughly enjoyed peeing and pooping in the crate. And yes, we had one that were like, they could technically do it off to the side and not be in it because most people are like, hey, dogs are pretty clean creatures that they don't want to be in their own feces. Frank was like the opposite. He was like, I'm going to roll in this. And for those that were active duty, you understand that they could be down behind here at times that I've seen from pictures. You only get a certain amount of time when you're on duty. So we had less than an hour for lunch. And for, I think it was a little over 2 months, we would come home, we would smell it. Someone would clean the crate, and someone would clean the dog. And it was like that every single day. Yes, I like to make sure that, I've already clicked it. Okay, so he's not in the water. Okay. So yeah, it was a horrible experience in a sense. Because this dog rolled in his own feces and we had to clean him, and it was like he would mush it into the crate, so like we didn't get to spend too much time together during lunch because we're in different companies. And someone would have to wash him and the other would wash the crate. And all right, I've already checked out this cave, but you never know. I'm gonna go back in it. Okay. And then it was almost like actually, I take it back. The change that happened, the vet that we saw that gave us him, I guess ended up being a bit of a hoarder of animals, and the base found out that they had like way too animals than they were allotted, and she had a fawn pug. And she knew how much we love pugs, so she asked if we wanted to take the pug. And we looked at each other like, well, we're already dying with one. And he was like, no, I think it will help Frank out. It'll teach him how to be a pug. Because like I said, he did not understand what to do. I've never seen a dog not know how to be a dog before. So we're like, well, we'll have them meet up and see how their temperaments are and blah, blah. Because you don't really hear too often of like a mean pug, but I have met a couple of people that are like, no, I have, and they're absolutely horrible. And you kind of sit there and you're like, how could a pug be horrible? Get out of here. And they're like, no, I'm serious. People are actually afraid of pugs. In one of our apartment complexes, I kid you not, a woman screamed. Screamed. Like, like she was being attacked. While my pug was on his leash and not even close to her. Maybe that's as close as I got to like a Karen. And I won't lie, I wasn't very nice about it. I looked at her and I was like, seriously? He didn't even touch you. He's not even anywhere near you, and you're just gonna scream because you saw a dog. Like, you're just not gonna do well in life. I'm sorry, I'm a bit blunt at times. I'm trying to work on it. But it's like scenarios like that, you sit there and you're like, so we met the pug. And my husband wanted him right away. We're just like on our way to starting a grumble. You need 3 pugs for a grumble. Never got to have my grumble, but it is what it is. Usually it's right there. So no crystal over here. And I won't lie, I honestly did not want the other pug because I was being a brat. I think we already got him. Yeah. And I wanted to get a pug puppy. Now, obviously, Frank was technically to me a puppy because we got him when he was 6 months, but I wanted like a puppy puppy. And I was just being a jerk at the time. I won't lie. But my husband was like, no, I think this will be really good. So I was like, fine, we'll get the pug. His name was Jack. And people got so mad at us because, I mean, we were not expecting to get a fawn pug, okay? Like, and my husband absolutely loved Men in Black. I know, stereotype to a point because, our black pug was now named Frank, and now we had a fawn pug that people would think would be named Frank, but no, his name is Jack. This is possibly bottom of the hill. So people get mad because, they would assume who is who, and I'm like, nope, sorry. They both have different names. And Jack literally taught Frank how to be a dog. It was the coolest thing to watch. And we didn't have problems after that. Like literally they were awesome. The only issue we had was that Jack marked everything. Like absolutely everything. And we got so good to the point where we could tell by the way he was sniffing that if we weren't quick, he was going to pee on it. Like whatever it was, whether it was a couch, a wall, chairs, you name it, he was just marking everything. Like the apartment, and thank God, the apartment we got them at was on base. It was very old, and I think it was like that year they were going to have to replace the carpets anyway, because I think every 10 years or something like that, they have to replace the carpet. So we kind of got lucky because they were going to replace the carpet. And thank God they did, because the amount of pee that was on these carpets was astronomical. So usually the crystal would be there. Where are we? We're up by the Lay ruins right now. It was like they were having pissing parties. And then to make it worse was, we were trying to be good neighbors to different people. We would watch their dogs at times, and it became like a piss party. Everyone was peeing. So we're like literally running after everybody, cleaning up after them. It was awful. I don't think I'll ever do that again. I love pets, but I think we just, we had too many that we were helping take care of at times when people would leave. But unfortunately, we lost Frank to cancer, and he was only 4.5 years old. And it was the first real loss of a pet that Dustin had. So we didn't have Frank very long, which really sucked. Because we really thought he was going to outlive Jack, because Jack is 2 years older than him. Not that we don't love Jack, it's just, obviously you're going to think that your youngest is going to survive your oldest. And that didn't happen. It was really awful. Like, Frank was he was such a ham. I love him so much. But he was also very melodramatic about stuff. Let's see, 55. $46. Here we go. Stupid. If you're trying to find the cave, it's like right next to the water. And one of the mornings, he wasn't using the bathroom. But they can be a bit of prisses, especially if like it's dewy outside. So I thought they were just, they were just being their normal peevish selves. And I didn't think like too much of it. But when things are kind of not normal, you're like, okay, let me kind of keep an eye on this sort of thing. We're like, I don't believe you, but I'm still gonna kind of believe you, so now I'm watching him. All right, we already checked under the bridge over there. There was nothing over there. So, I'm watching him through the day and he's absolutely not using the bathroom whatsoever. Um, and I kind of, I was like, it happens. We gave him pumpkin. I was like, maybe he's just constipated or something because he wasn't doing either one. And I was like, maybe they'll help kickstart. And then the next morning, went to take him out for their morning W, and he still wasn't going. But he started to kind of cry at me a little bit. Which, again, he's done before because he's a bit melodramatic. Usually the crystal's right here. But again, when you're paying attention to your pets and your children and stuff, there's definite times where you're like, something is not right. And it was one of those moments where I was like, something isn't right. Um, and unfortunately, I had to go to work. My husband was a full-time student at the time, so he took him to the vet. I think we went to an emergency vet. And unfortunately, called me not too long after. They did tests, and he was found to have a tumor, and it was pressing on his bladder, and that's why he wasn't able to go to the bathroom. And you know, now we're talking on the phone because it's incredibly serious. And there was a big thing. We sat there and we were talking with the doctor, and I was like, okay, what can we do? Um, one of the things they said was, you could try chemo, um, but they said it looks like it would only delay about 2 months. I was like, so you want me to put my dog through chemo to just keep him alive for 2 months, and then he's gonna pass away? I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing that. I don't even want that for me. Now, of course, to each his own, everybody, about what you do, what you think is best for your pet. But I wasn't going to put my dog through that just to keep him alive. Yes! Yes! I can't believe we got it. That's so awesome. This is what you'll see. You'll hear a faint caw in the distance and then silence. So if you're trying to do this and you see this happen, that means somebody got all 5 crystals. And just stop trying, and you're gonna have to let everything reset. Some people said it only takes a couple hours. Other people say it takes 8 hours. Yes, that's awesome. I'm sorry, I'm saying that as I'm like saying this horrible story about losing my pug. But I try not to make it too I try not to talk too much about it because I'll feel bad, and I'll start crying. Why is he not popping up? I feel like I'm just stupid this morning. I got my Argent Hippogryph. We're just gonna go through the whole thing until I find him, while I finish my horrible, sad story of my poor pug. So literally, the quality of life, they couldn't guarantee anything other than about 2 months. And it's sad that it was that bad. We had no idea. Like, we went in for checkups, but obviously they're not going to be checking for tumors and stuff. There was nothing that, was protruding from his body. There was nothing. And it really stunk. Um, there was no indication he was never in any pain. That was the first thing that came to be to give us some inkling that there was an issue. And it really stinks. So we started calling around because we knew what we needed to do. We were not gonna, because it was to the point where they're like, you have to either let him go or do the surgery. And that was the other thing too. They're like, we're gonna have to remove the tumor. He's most likely not gonna make it. And I do thoroughly appreciate the doctor that was with us that was honest with us about it, because I've heard horror stories from people where they're like, oh, you'll be fine, they'll be fine, and they pass away anyway. This doctor was very um, honest with us about everything. They were like, I guess where it was located, how it was, how big it was, just everything all together. They're like, it's not good whatsoever. Now, for those, they're like, I know there's plenty of people out there who be like, I would do anything for my pet, and I would pay the money to at least try. We would have tried if they would have said it's only going to give him like 2 more months. I'm not doing that to a pet. I'm not going to force you to stay alive for just 2 more months and then you're going to go anyway. I don't know why that was that, but again, we trusted the doctor to be honest with us about it. Oh, is it in my bag? I'm an idiot. It's in my bag. And there he is. I'm stupid. Oh, he's so beautiful. Look at him. I'm gonna put you on my little bar because I want to use you for a little bit. Yay! So we searched around for a vet that would allow us to be with him because that was a big thing that my parents always taught me when we had a pet is that you are always there for your pet. They're your family. And again, I'm not going to judge anyone that can't do this because it is incredibly difficult. And I hope that, you never have to do this because it really does stink. But we did find a vet that allowed you to be there with them. And I didn't know this. There's some vets that don't let you. And I will never take a pet there because I want to be with my animal and let them know that, that I'm there with them. So we found a vet that let us be in there with them. And I completely understand to a point why some vets don't let you. Because when they went to go take care of it, all I wanted to do was slap the syringe out of the doctor's hand and snatch up my pug and take him home. That's all I wanted to do. Like, it was, I think, the weirdest and like worst sensation I've felt in such a long time. But fortunately, it's incredibly quick. There's no pain. We got to hold him the whole time so that he wasn't alone. Yeah. And we had to say goodbye. And it was awful. It was so awful. And my husband completely broke down. Because again, this was our first baby together. It was his first dog. It was like first everything. And it was his buddy, like his cuddle buddy for life sort of thing. When he had really bad mono, Frank like slept on him the whole time to help him feel better and stuff like that. And then to make it worse, we went home and we're like, oh, maybe Jack is going to be really upset too, and we're going to deal with a depressed pug, and we're going to have all this stuff. And I don't know if it was like easier or harder, but Jack did not care, which in a sense made us happy because we didn't have to deal with the depressed pug because we were warned about that from other people. But then it also made me like cry my eyes out because I was like, here we are bawling, and Jack's just like, whatever. Oh, lucky. I think that's the mount everyone is trying to go for right now for Fallen. Lucky ducky. I don't think anything new's popped up. I did everything already. I have to wait for reset. And so yeah, we were feeling absolutely awful. Jack came with us everywhere for months. Like he was a really good sport. It was one of the few times my husband allowed us to. He definitely slept in bed with us. And I think we even did kind of like a slumber party out in the living room because we had Babu and I think Miki at that time. Yeah, we had both. Now I lied. We didn't have Miki yet. But anyway, we did kind of like some slumber parties out in the living room. Yeah. Jack came to like, I guess we were lucky in a sense. A lot of the malls that were near us allow pets and not just service pets. Like you could just bring your pet. Now you had to clean up after them if they messed up, and he came with us everywhere. And I knew my husband was hurting really bad because one, it's his first baby that we had to let go. Two, he never has had to be there to say goodbye before. So that was heart-wrenching in itself. And then we made an ultimate mistake. I tried my best to stay away from it, but my husband wanted to go to one of the animal shelters to feel better. Because part of his grieving process was he wanted to walk the other dogs. And we actually did that for a good amount of time. And there was one day, Chihuahua puppies were there. And he was like, oh, we should go look at them. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I was still mourning and grieving. I didn't want to go anywhere near anything. And we didn't get in like a tiff about it, but it was more of a, please, this will help me sort of thing. And I knew he was still hurting. So I was like, okay, I'll go in for you. So we went in, and guess what? We left with a Chihuahua puppy. So now we had a pug, we had a brand new Chihuahua puppy. Um, for whatever reason, right now I'm trying to get eggs because people said they think it's 6 eggs you need to get the mount, but another one said that they have not seen anything drop from them, and they think you need 10. So we're gonna test that out eventually because I'm at 4 at the moment. For whatever reason, he thought our male cat needed a friend. And he wanted his pet. Frank was his pet, and he wanted one to like really call that's my pet because technically Jack was my pet. And Babu was my pet. So we went back to the animal shelter where we got Rose. Yes, we have a pug named Jack and a chihuahua named Rose. We did that on purpose. And that's where we got Miggy. And she is a typical domestic short hair, I believe it is. She's a mutt like us. And I feel like we got really lucky. We did do our research because having cats meet each other is a very different experience than having dogs meet each other. Babu was an older male cat. And from the research that we did, because I love watching Jackson Galaxy, my cat from hell, we were watching him help other people. And I forget if it's his website or something like that. But, we read, you want to, if you're going to introduce a new cat, they should be the opposite sex. They should be as young as possible. So that's what we look for. And it was actually, we're deciding between a beautiful white cat and Miggy, who looked like kind of like a little mini tiger at the time. She was so small. Hey, handsome man. And come here. We brought her home, and she went immediately to one of our bathrooms because we were in a different apartment. I think we were in like a 2-bath apartment. I know we're moving up in life. Because our first apartment, where we just had Jack and Frank, and honestly, near the end, we got Babu and then moved. We only had a 1-bathroom apartment. It was awful. If you have the chance to just be able to have a 2-bathroom, I highly suggest it. Because a 1-bathroom apartment stinks. Especially when you have friends over. But Miggy, immediately we took her to the bathroom, and that was like her area to get accustomed to everything, to get used to us. And then we did the whole, we fed her by the door. We fed Babu by the other side of the door, and the door is completely closed. And we did playtime by the door. Literally just everything by the door, so that they both kind of got used to each other. And then I think it was day 3. I want to go this way. We switched, and she was allowed out into the rest of the apartment, and Babu was placed in the bathroom to get used to her smell. And then we did the same thing. Everyone got fed by the door, everyone played by the door, and we did that for a couple more days. And then we took 2 what do you call them? They're like not doorknobs, but you place them by the door to keep it open. And we took 2 of them so that we could kind of crack it a bit. And then we put them on either side so you couldn't move the door. Just enough that Babu and Miggy could see each other, and they could smell each other, but he couldn't attack her if, something went down. And he was such a baby about it. Oh my gosh. Like, we have a video of him meeting her like that when we first did it. And I'll probably see how I can post like a bit of a clip of it. But it's so cute. You have this tiny, tiny little kitten who's kind of like mewing and checking out the world. And then you have this older, grumpy man cat who's growling and having like basically a little bit of a hissy fit about the whole thing. And you're looking at him and you're like, Boo, what's wrong with you? And we only had that for about like 2 nights. He was a bit of a hissy man about it. They did a little bit of cat wrestling, which if you've never owned a cat, cats are pretty. There we go, yes. We got some eggs. Now, I haven't been lucky like other people. I only get like one a day. And I'm not going to spend like 10 hours just to get the second thing of eggs. Again, it goes back to the priorities of your time. And I know there's a bunch of different groups that will just farm until they get the eggs, because I think you can only carry 2 a day. I only did mine real quick because I wanted to get another one. And I'll probably come back later. And that's what I do. I'll do it throughout the day. I'll do little stints so that I'm not just sitting here going, oh my god, I'm just trying to get this. Pile of bones. I don't know what this is. What is this? Oh, I thought it was going to be a rare or something. So yeah, he had a bit of a hissy fit for like 2 days about it. And then they touched noses, and they've been close ever since, and it's been beautiful. They are best of friends. We did get lucky because I know not every cat accepts each other. Hello. I think that was number 5 for me of eggs that I've placed in this nest. So maybe tomorrow we'll see, or later today. I will do a recording just in case. And we got very lucky. The sad thing is Miki and the Chihuahua, Rose, are really good friends, and they sleep on each other and groom each other and stuff. Miki and Babu are really good friends. They sleep on each other all the time. They play together. They groom each other. And Miki and Babu absolutely love Jack. Babu and Rose do not like each other at all. They are like horrible teenage siblings that go out of their way to bother each other and get in fights with each other. And it's at the point where there's times, you have to watch them when they're starting to get a little too crazy with each other. He'll bop her, she'll try to nib him, to the point where everyone has to get separated. Everyone goes into their own space, their own corner. Let's reset, and everyone just kind of calm down. And they do it to each other. It's awful. Like, they both will look at me and be like, see? And you sit there and you're like, I've been watching you the whole time, right? Like, you were pestering them. And now that they've, like, kind of snapped at you, you're gonna try to pretend that it's not your fault. So, yeah. we have that issue. And it's sad too because they're like pretty good sometimes. And they'll sleep next to each other and stuff. And then it's like they wake up and they're like, "Oh my God, no, we're enemies. We have to fight." And you're like, "No, you don't. You really don't." So yeah, I think everyone is probably tired of my pet stories now. But thank you for joining me to getting the hippogriff. I am so happy the crystals were there and we were able to get it. Um, I am probably now going to join one of the fallen groups because I am a glutton for punishment. But I've seen more, fallen has popped up for me in the morning, the afternoon, absolutely nothing. And I will record that in hopes of being one of the lucky few to get that. And again, I'm going to start going through my footage of me healing and make a couple videos on that. Because again, a big part of this channel is that I am just an okay healer. Um, Nothing to write home about, but I think decent enough that I have kept people alive to get through different dungeons and situations, scenarios, and all that. And part of this channel is in hopes for me to just kind of get better at my skill set, to be a better healer. And to end this, just in case anyone doesn't know, if you're in Korthia and you want to get over here to the Vault of Secrets, if you see where I am, I'm chilling out right here. You have to take this dude. And he will take you over to this area. You can't just walk over here. Because if you look here, these are all mountains. For those that like their topography. But you'll see when you walk over, you won't be able to get over here. You have to fly. And this is the dude you're going to take to do it. But again, thank you guys so much. I'm happy the audio was working this time around to be able to get this. I hope everyone had a good 4th of July yesterday. And I hope everyone stays safe with the storm that is coming through. So yeah, you guys have a good morning.